An ancient evil has arisen from the shadows. Sauron gathers power. His malice inflames those who follow him. To the north, he sends Agandaur, cruel master of dark sorceries, to crush all who would dare oppose him. Against this rising shadow stand those who do not seek glory, who do not seek power. Those who fight to stem the onslaught. To protect their people, their lands, and all of Middle-earth. Three bright flames of courage to challenge the darkness. Of the Great War of the Ring, many songs have been sung and many tales told. The names of heroes like Gandalf the Grey, Aragorn the King, and Frodo the Ring-Bearer are greatly revered, and rightly so. Yet Sauron's grasp stretched much further than the lands of Gondor and Rohan alone, and his forces might have done great evil in the north of Middle-earth, had a handful of heroes not stood in his path. Their stories, too, deserve to be told. Pay heed now to one such tale, which begins here in the town of Bree, just a few short days before Frodo arrived on his quest.
Aragorn.
Eredon, well met. And in company with Andriel of Rivendell and Farin of Erebor. An unlikely trio to find walking through the doors of the Prancing Pony. You were at Sarn Ford last I knew. Do you bear news from Halbarad?
Yes. Grim news.
I feared it would be so. Quickly, tell me what has happened, but keep your voices low. There are unfriendly ears, even here in Bree.
3 days passed. The guard at Sarn Ford was attacked by 9 Black Riders.
Stand fast, Rangers!
We were overwhelmed, and the enemy passed into the Shire.
This is worse than I imagined. I know these riders. It is from Mordor they come. Our folk had not hoped to stand against the Nine together. How bad were our losses?
Very bad. We tried to resist them, but they were surrounded by an aura of unnatural dread.
There is more you should know. After the rout, one of the Black Riders met with an ally, a man of great malice and power.
As our master commanded, I have stirred up the orcs of the mountains. Even now, I have a force gathering amid the ruins of old Fornost.
Return at once and prepare your forces. We will have need of them soon.
My orcs will be ready. These lands have known peace for too long. They will soon feel the Dark Lord's wrath.
If this Agandaur has a force at Fornost, then our position grows all the more desperate.
But why all this force against the peaceful halflings? It can't be the enemy sees them as a threat.
I will say this much. There is a hobbit of the Shire who should be coming this way with a great burden. If it falls into the hands of the enemy, it will mean doom for us all. Now this hobbit is adrift on the road with enemies all around. I must find him before they do. And I need you to help me keep him safe.
You are my chieftain. I will gladly do whatever you command.
I'm a part of this now as well.
Then we three are of one mind. How can we aid you?
We must reduce the threat from the enemies gathered at Fornost. Travel there and do whatever you can to keep the enemy's eye turned towards you and away from the Shire.
Perhaps we will have help in this task. Eladan and Elrohir were in the north when last I heard. Any gathering of the enemy is certain to attract their attention.
Good. You could find no better allies than the sons of Elrond half-elvet.
I hope we meet. But with or without help, the enemy will be kept busy. We'll make sure of that.
Welcome to Bree. You're a stranger around here. May I ask you a few questions?
What sort of questions?
We hear a lot of talk from travelers these days. Most of them speak of war and of a growing shadow in the east. The townsfolk just dismiss this. Say it's far away and doesn't concern us. But I'm not so sure. You've traveled, maybe seen a few things. What's your opinion? Should we be worried?
I'd say there is good cause to worry.
I was afraid of that. If only I could convince others. But until then, I will have to take action on my own.
What do you intend to do?
I'd like to arrange for arming the town. We'll need more than pitchforks if we're forced to defend ourselves. I tried to convince a dwarven merchant to bring us weapons, but he refused.
That's strange. Did he say why?
He seems convinced there's no market for weapons in this town, and said it wouldn't be worth his time.
Maybe I should talk to him. Dwarf to dwarf.
It's worth a try. His name is Groff. He's selling his wares from a market stall down the street. You might still find him there.
I'll let you know what he has to say.
Hello there. Always good to deal with my own kind. The name's Groff and I hail from the Blue Mountains. I don't think I've seen you before.
Farin, at your service. My home is in Erebor, far to the east.
Erebor? A lonely mountain? Then you're one of King Dane's folk. I hear good things about your people's stonework and their wealth.
Some of my kin once dwelt in your homeland. What can you tell me of it?
The Blue Mountains are prosperous enough, although we find more iron than gold. We rely on iron working for our livelihood. That's why I'm here selling tools to the Brelanders.
Picks and shovels are fine, but what about weapons? You make those as well?
Of course. We make arms and armor as fine as any in Middle-earth.
Good. I'd like you to bring some of them to Bree. These people have need of weapons.
You're pulling my beard. Weapons for these folk? They wouldn't know which end of the sword to hang on to. I might as well try selling shoes to hobbits.
Peace never lasts forever. These people need to be prepared.
Well now, if you're so eager to arm the Brelanders, how come you don't get your own folk to do it?
I would, but Erebor is too far away. There are people here who see the danger growing. They want to be prepared.
It'll take more than a few sensible folk to make it worth my time. These people are simple and peace-loving. It's plowshares they want, not swords.
So they're not warriors. Is that any reason not to give them a fighting chance if trouble comes their way?
You're right, of course. Maybe it's not such a bad idea after all. At least I'd have no competition. All right, I'll do it.
Excellent. How long do you think it will take?
Some time, I'm afraid. It's a long trek to the Blue Mountains and back. Not to mention I'll have to convince my kin I've not lost my mind. Probably 3 months or more, I reckon.
I will let them know when to expect you. Safe travels, Groff.
Did you speak with Groff? What did he say?
I changed his mind. He'll bring you weapons soon.
Excellent. My only concern now is the time it will take. What if we need to defend the town before the dwarf-made goods arrive? Maybe you could help me with that as well.
How so?
I can tell by your gear that you are no stranger to a fight. If you should have occasion to, well, let's say, recover any weapons you don't need, bring them to me, and I will pay you for them.
Pay me, huh? A better price than I might find elsewhere.
I'm not a wealthy man, but I will give you what I can for any good weapons you bring me.
I'll bear that in mind. Farewell.
What have we here? A stranger in town. A stranger's just what I'm looking for. Interested in a little...
I'd best be on my way. I'd like to ask you a few questions, Aragorn.
Shh. Here in Bree, there is no...
Those things that attacked us at Sarn Ford, those Black Riders, I've never seen anything like them before. What are they?
Do you not know them? There are whispered tales and legends enough that tell of them. They are the Nine, the Ring Wraiths. Of all the servants of the enemy, they are the most feared.
This Agendour, he was no wraith. He seemed like a man. One filled with dark power, maybe, but a man all the same. But what kind of man would serve the Dark Lord?
Not all the Dark Lord's servants are wraiths and orcs. There have been and still are many men, warriors and kings that walk alive under the sun. and yet are under his sway, willing or unwilling.
Tell me about this place, Fornost.
Fornost was once a great city, the capital of the Dunedain kingdom of Arnor. It fell to the Witch King long ago. The men of Gondor and the elves formed an alliance that drove the Witch King out, but Fornost was never rebuilt. The ruins remain a place of dread for many. The men of Bree call it Dead Man's Dyke and fear to go near. It is a perfect place for our enemies to gather in secret.
What about this man who met with the Black Riders? This Agendaur? What do you make of him?
Some servant of the Dark Lord, and by his name one to be feared. His presence in the north bodes ill for us all, but I'm glad you discovered it. At least now we are forewarned.
What is it about his name that tells you he is someone to fear?
That name is from a language few now speak, but it was once the native tongue of my ancestors, the men of Numenor.
Are you telling me that Agendaur is one of your kin?
Yes, but only distantly related. While the forebearers of the Dunedain rejected the lies of the Dark Lord, not all of the men of Numenor did so. Many were enticed by his promises of power. Their descendants serve him still. Many are great warriors and sorcerers, but they are consumed by darkness. We know them as the Black Numenorians. I fear this Agendaur may prove a foe as deadly as the Black Riders themselves.
Why hide your true name? Surely it's a name to be proud of.
The Dark Lord in Mordor would not be pleased to know that Isildur's heir still lives. The time is not right for Aragorn, son of Arathorn, to stand revealed to the world. For now, I am simply Strider.
All right, Strider it is. So, what are you gonna do now?
I will continue the search for the hobbit I spoke of. I've already scoured the road between here and the Shire, but found no trace of him. I fear he may have left the road, perhaps to escape pursuit. My hope now is that he will make his way here to Bree, the only safe haven for many miles. But if he does not appear soon, I will take to the road again in search of him. Should the enemy at Fornost join in the hunt, well...
We will do all we can. Farewell.
Hello. Have you brought me any extra weapons?
is Fornost, yet I see no sign of the enemy.
These ruins could hide a large army. We might even now be under the gaze of unfriendly eyes.
Well, we came to provide a distraction for Aragorn, and what better way to do that than walking in the front door? Let's be about it.
Servants of darkness!
Archers on the stairs! elf's down! Quickly, help her!
I thought elves were meant to have long lives.
Many thanks. Onward now.
There are yet more of them!
Upon you!
Is everyone unhurt?
These ruins are not sound.
We must find a way out of these pits.
There's a hidden way through this wall.